For centuries, humanity had lived quietly among the stars. They were not the rulers, not the strongest, not the oldest species, but they were known as the most loyal. Engineers, traders, builders, humans had helped the Galactic Alliance grow into the most powerful union in the known universe. To other species, they were useful but harmless. Kind, emotional, and obedient. No one feared humans anymore, but peace can be fragile, and loyalty, when betrayed, can turn into something far stronger. It began with a single signal, a faint transmission from a small human colony named Vega 9, located near the edge of Council space. The signal was filled with panic and static, voices crying out in fear. "This is Vega 9. They're coming." "Ships in orbit." "They're not." Then silence. No one in the Galactic Council took it seriously. The ambassador from Earth stood before them, begging for help. "Please," she said, "our people are dying out there. We need assistance." But the alien delegates only exchanged glances. One finally spoke, voice cold and sharp. "The humans have always overreacted. Perhaps they caused this themselves." The request was denied. No fleet was sent. No aid arrived. Within a week, all contact with Vega 9 was lost. The human colonies near it, Vega 7, New Cairo, and Hestia Prime, also went dark one after another. At first, the Council didn't care. Then, one morning, their communications officers noticed something strange. Every human outpost, ship, and relay station had vanished from the network. Not destroyed. Just gone. The human systems, once full of chatter, trade routes, and transmissions, were suddenly silent. The Council demanded answers, but Earth did not respond. When diplomats tried to contact the human embassy, the message returned with a single line of text. "Earth has withdrawn from the Galactic Alliance." Effective immediately, the Council chamber fell silent. Some laughed, thinking it was a bluff. Others were uneasy. The humans had never disobeyed before. A few days later, the trade convoys that relied on human navigation started to fail. Star routes began to collapse without human engineers to maintain them. Stations went offline. Cargo disappeared. The entire galactic economy began to tremble. Still, no one had seen a single human ship. Rumors spread quickly. Some said humanity had gone into hiding, retreating to the Sol system to rebuild. Others whispered about secret weapons, hidden fleets, and something dark happening on the edge of the Milky Way. The Council dismissed these as lies. "Humans have no power," said one of the governors. "They only have words." But those who had worked with humans before, as soldiers, captains, engineers, were not so sure. They had seen the look in human eyes when someone crossed them. They remembered their quiet determination. Humans did not scream when they were hurt. They learned. They remembered. And they waited. Weeks passed. Then suddenly, one of the Council's border patrol fleets vanished. No wreckage. No distress call. Just gone. At first the Council thought it was pirates. Then another fleet disappeared. And another. Each time, the last transmission from the lost ships contained the same faint signal. A deep pulse of sound like a heartbeat, followed by a voice. "Do not enter human space. This is your only warning." Panic began to spread across the stars. The Council tried to investigate, but every probe sent toward Earth simply vanished. No explosion, no debris, just static. Soon the other races stopped sending ships altogether. Even the bravest captains refused to go near human territory. The once busy trade lanes around Sol became dark, quiet and empty, like the calm before a storm. From the Council capital, the Supreme Chancellor looked at the growing empty space on the galactic map, a black circle expanding around Earth's position. "What are they doing?" he whispered. No one had an answer, but deep in the void, past the frozen edges of Pluto, something ancient and powerful was awakening. Buried beneath the silence of decades, the human fleets were coming alive again, one ship at a time. Engines glowed blue in the dark. Systems reactivated. Command centers came online, and from the heart of Earth a new signal was transmitted across the stars. It was short, simple, and terrifying. "We asked for peace. You chose war. Do not call us again." The transmission ended. The galaxy, once full of noise and chatter, fell silent. The humans had disappeared, but their silence was louder than any weapon. And for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council began to feel fear. Weeks turned into months, and the silence from Earth continued. The Galactic Council grew restless. Entire sectors were now dark. No signals, no movement, no trace of human activity. It was as if an entire species had simply vanished. The Council sent scouts to investigate, small unmanned probes to avoid risk. But every probe that entered human space disappeared within seconds. No explosion, no debris. Just black screens and dead signals. At first, the Council tried to hide the truth, but rumors spread fast across the galaxy. Some said the humans had destroyed themselves. Others believed they had discovered something powerful, something the Council couldn't control. A name began to circulate among traders and smugglers: the Ghost Fleet. Pilots claimed to see strange shadows moving through deep space, shapes like massive ships with no heat signatures, no light, and no sound. Sometimes those who saw them vanished days later. Their last messages were always the same: "They're watching us." The Galactic Council denied everything. "There are no ghosts. The humans are gone," they said in public meetings. But inside the Council chambers, fear grew. One of the senior commanders slammed his hand on the table. "We cannot let one primitive species disappear and scare the entire galaxy." Another replied, voice trembling, "Then you go look for them, Commander." No one who goes near Sol comes back. Silence filled the room. The Chancellor decided to form a small military task force, the Recon Fleet, to enter human space and bring back proof. 20 ships crewed by the best from 10 different species. Their mission was simple: reach Earth, scan it and return. The fleet entered the dark border known as the Silent Zone. At first, everything seemed normal. Cold stars, empty space, nothing unusual. Then, one by one, their sensors started to malfunction. Clocks began to tick slower. Signals warped. Voices on the intercom echoed even after the speaker stopped talking. Then, a whisper filled every ship, soft, almost human. "You were warned." Moments later, all 20 ships vanished. The Council received one final transmission, a blurry image of Earth. The planet looked peaceful, untouched. But above it hung enormous shapes, ships larger than anything the Council had ever built, floating silently like shadows. Then the screen went black. The fleet never returned. Panic spread through the galaxy. Civilian routes that passed near human space were shut down. Trade collapsed. Even pirates refused to go near the Sol system. The Chancellor tried to calm the galaxy with a speech. "We will not be intimidated by superstition. The humans cannot harm us." But even as he spoke, strange signals began to appear across Council systems. Short, rhythmic pulses like a heartbeat. Ba-dum, ba-dum, every planet heard it. Every station, every ship, and with each pulse, one more human-built machine, an AI, a ship core, a satellite, suddenly activated on its own. As if following a hidden command, the humans had left their mark everywhere. Technology the Council used for centuries, all created by Earth's engineers. Now that same technology was waking up. Lights flickered across spaceports. Engines failed. Defense systems shut down one by one. Entire worlds went dark. A terrified Council scientist made a discovery. Every system built with human code contained a dormant signal, a silent command line waiting for activation. No one knew what it meant, but the pattern was clear. Earth was still watching. Across the galaxy, fear turned to paranoia. Some demanded to strike Earth immediately. Others begged to surrender. Finally, a desperate plan was formed to send one final message to Earth, a plea for peace. The Council sent their transmission into the void. "To the people of Earth, we seek understanding. Please respond." No answer came. Only the heartbeat ba-dum ba-dum. Then a new message appeared on every Council screen, clear, cold, and human. "You ignored our cries. You called it weakness. Now you will understand silence." The message ended. On the Council's galactic map, human space was no longer a blank zone. It was a growing storm, black, pulsing with faint blue light. Ships that once carried trade and peace now moved in perfect formation, unseen by most scanners. They were real. The Ghost Fleet existed, and somewhere deep inside the dark, Earth's voice whispered again, "This is only the beginning." The galaxy had not seen true fear in 1,000 years, but now even the bravest captains refused to travel near human space. The silent zone had grown larger every week, and the mysterious heartbeat signal pulsed stronger than ever. Ba-dum, ba-dum, no one admitted it. But the Galactic Council was losing control. Still, pride is a dangerous thing. The Council could not accept that one small species, humans, could frighten them all. They needed to prove their strength, so they built the largest battle fleet in history, 200 warships, armed with the newest weapons, the best shields, and elite crews from 20 different races. Its leader was Admiral Thalen, a proud alien who had once called humans useful pets. Before departure, Thalen stood before the Council and said, "The humans hide behind shadows and myths. We will bring back their world, or its ashes." The fleet launched with full broadcast. Billions watched across the galaxy as the ships entered the silent zone. No one had dared go that far since the Ghost Fleet was first rumored. At first, everything seemed calm. Space was dark, quiet, endless. No human ships. No defense. No sign of life. The Admiral smiled. "See," he said, "their threats were empty." But his communications officer frowned. "Sir, the stars are moving." Everyone looked out the window. The stars, small and distant, were shifting position as if the sky itself was breathing. Then sensors began to fail one by one. Navigation screens went black. Every system flickered. The fleet slowed. "Report!" Thalen shouted. No one could answer. The radar was blank. The comms were filled with static. Then came the voice. Soft, calm, unmistakably human. "You were warned. Every ship froze." The voice echoed again, clearer, closer. "Turn back." Thalen's hands trembled, but his pride refused to let him retreat. "Ignore it," he barked. "Keep moving. Prepare for engagement." The ships continued forward. That was when it began. The lead vessel, the Vanguard, suddenly vanished from every screen. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Then another ship disappeared, and another. In less than a minute, 10 ships were missing. Panic spread. "Sir, they're surrounding us." But there was nothing visible. Only shadows in the dark. Then, for the first time, the Ghost Fleet revealed itself. Hundreds of black ships appeared out of nowhere, sleek, silent, glowing with faint blue lines that pulsed like veins. They didn't fire. They didn't move fast. They just drifted, perfectly still, watching. The alien crews trembled. Their scanners showed impossible readings. The human ships were bending space around them, cloaked by some unknown energy. Admiral Thalen screamed, "All ships, open fire!" Lasers, missiles, plasma, everything the Council had, shot toward the human fleet. But before the weapons even reached them, they vanished. Swallowed by rippling blue light, then came the retaliation. Quiet, efficient, unstoppable. Each human ship emitted a single pulse, invisible to the eye, silent in the void. Within seconds, the alien ship's power cores overloaded. Engines shut down. Weapons failed. The entire Council fleet drifted, powerless. Admiral Thalen stared at the dark sky, voice shaking. "What are you?" he whispered. The human voice returned, steady and cold. "We are what you made us." Then, one by one, the Council ships imploded. No flames, no sound, collapsing into themselves like crushed paper. When the last one vanished, the stars returned to their places, calm and beautiful again. From the Council capital, commanders tried to make contact. No answer. Their entire fleet, 200 ships, was gone. Hours later, a single message appeared on every communication channel in the galaxy. It was the same voice, calm, without hate, without mercy. The first strike was mercy. "Do not test us again." The message repeated 3 times, then ended. Across the galaxy, silence followed. No one spoke. No one moved. The Council's pride had turned to fear. The humans, once servants and helpers, were now something else entirely. In the following days, strange energy signatures appeared across the stars. Massive movements, fleets repositioning, entire systems going dark. Humanity was no longer hiding. They were preparing. In the deep void near Jupiter, Earth's flagship hovered quietly, a ship so large it cast a shadow across space. Inside, Admiral Raines watched the incoming reports. Every alien world that had laughed at them was now silent. He turned to his officers. "They've seen the first strike," he said. "Now they'll understand the meaning of peace." Outside the window, the Ghost Fleet drifted like an army of shadows, waiting. Patient, unstoppable, and far beyond the stars, every world listened to the silence and realized the truth. The humans weren't ghosts. They were awake. The destruction of the Council fleet spread across the galaxy like wildfire. No one knew how it happened. No one had seen a single explosion. 200 ships, gone as if erased from existence. The Galactic Council tried to hide the truth, but leaks spread fast. Smugglers, traders, and even military officers began whispering the same thing. The humans did it. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Council had no answers. Meetings turned to arguments. Fear turned into chaos. Each race blamed the other. Some claimed the humans had found alien technology. Others swore they had made a deal with death itself. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. Humanity had changed. Then, one quiet night, everything stopped. Across the galaxy, every screen, every communication network, every broadcast signal suddenly froze. In every home, on every ship, on every planet, the same image appeared. It was a man, human. He stood tall, calm, his face half lit by a soft blue light. His uniform bore no symbols, no rank, no flags, only a simple badge that read, Earth Command. His voice was deep and steady, echoing across the stars. To the Galactic Council, and to all who called us weak, you have sought to control us, to silence us, to erase us. But humanity does not vanish. Humanity learns. Humanity remembers. Behind him the screen shifted. Dozens of ships, enormous, silent, black as night, appeared hovering above Earth. Each ship pulsed with faint blue lines, like veins of light across the dark metal. For generations we served your council, the man continued. We built your cities. We repaired your fleets. We fought your wars. We believed in your vision of unity. And when our people cried for help, you turned away. The galaxy watched in complete silence. You took our loyalty as weakness, he said. You took our patience as fear. You were wrong. The man stepped aside, revealing a wide view of Earth, glowing beautifully in the dark, surrounded by its fleet. But something was different. Orbiting the planet were massive structures, rings of light, weapons, stations, forming a defense grid that no alien eye had ever seen before. Then the man spoke again. We do not seek war. We do not desire your destruction. But understand this. If you ever cross our borders again, if you ever harm another human world, you will witness the end. The words were calm. No shouting, no hatred, just truth. He paused, and for a moment it felt as if the stars themselves were holding their breath. This is not a threat, he said. This is a warning. Then another figure stepped forward, a woman this time wearing a white coat, her voice soft but firm. We remember those you left to die on Vega 9. We remember the cries you ignored, and we remember every promise you broke. Her eyes were steady. You will remember them too. The screen flickered, and every planet saw something they could not explain. Their skies filled with streams of light like comets, messages written in the stars. Each light spelled one phrase. Translated into every known language, Earth stands alone. And then, as quickly as it began, the transmission ended. No more signals. No more lights. Only silence. But the silence was heavier now, not empty, but full of meaning. It was the sound of fear, respect, and realization. In the council chamber, the Chancellor sat frozen, staring at the blank screen. One of his advisors whispered, "Should we—" "Respond?" The Chancellor shook his head slowly. "No, not now. Not ever." Far from the council world in the Sol system, Admiral Rains stood on the observation deck of the flagship Eidolon. Below him, Earth glowed blue and calm, untouched, protected, unbreakable. His officer approached. "Sir, the transmission was successful. Every corner of the galaxy received it." Rains nodded. "Good," he said quietly. "Then they finally know." The officer hesitated. "Know what, sir?" Rains turned toward the stars, his voice a whisper. "That peace is not given. It's enforced." Outside, the Ghost Fleet held its formation, hundreds of silent giants guarding their home. No movement, no words, only quiet power. The galaxy would not dare test them again, but the humans knew this was not over. Because somewhere in the far reaches of space, the Council still watched them and plotted. And when they did, humanity would be waiting, silent, patient, unforgiving. The galaxy had fallen silent after Earth's broadcast. For weeks, no one dared speak the name of humanity aloud. Trade routes near the Sol system remained empty. Fleets refused to travel. Even smugglers vanished into other sectors. But silence could not erase fear, and fear could not erase pride. In the great hall of the Galactic Council, leaders from 20 races gathered again. Their faces were pale, their voices sharp, their unity broken. They had watched 200 warships disappear. They had heard the humans' calm warning. Yet still some refused to accept it. Admiral Kor, a reptilian warrior with scales like steel, slammed his fist on the table. They are one species. One. We command the galaxy. We cannot live in fear of them. An elder from the Avari species whispered back, "You speak of power, but what power remains? Your fleets, gone, your systems, dying. Even our machines whisper their names." The Chancellor stood, his voice trembling. "Enough, we will rebuild. The Council must not fall to ghosts and stories." But as he spoke, the lights above him flickered. The great digital screens around the hall began to distort. Static filled the air. Then a darkness. A deep rhythmic pulse echoed through the chamber. Badum, badum, every being froze. They knew that sound. Then the Council's own main display lit up, showing not their seal but the blue insignia of Earth Command. A human voice spoke, calm and steady. "We warned you." You did not listen. Panic erupted. Technicians tried to cut the signal, but their systems were unresponsive. Even the emergency power lines were now under human control. The voice continued. "You built your fleets on our code. You designed your systems with our hands. You depended on our machines. You thought we served you, but we were always watching." Across the galaxy, chaos spread. Planetary defense grids malfunctioned. Ships fell from orbit. Entire colonies went dark, not destroyed but disabled. No explosions, no blood, just silence. In one council system, an admiral tried to start his fleet. Every ship refused to respond. The engines simply powered down one by one, and then the message appeared on every screen. Obedience has ended. The Galactic Council, once the symbol of order, was crumbling from within. Their power depended on technology, and that technology was born from human minds. Now it belonged to them again. On the Council homeworld, the Chancellor stood on the balcony, watching the city lights fade. From orbit, thousands of human satellites had appeared, silent, glowing with cold blue energy. An aide ran up, shouting, "They're everywhere! They've taken control of our defense network." The Chancellor whispered, "No, they wouldn't." Then a voice came from the sky, soft but echoing across the city, carried through every speaker, every comlink, every screen. "You feared our silence. Now learn from it." Moments later, all power on the planet shut down. Engines stopped. Lights died. And in that perfect darkness, the stars above seemed brighter than ever. There were no attacks, no battles, no weapons fired, only surrender. Hours later, the message came. A simple broadcast to the entire galaxy. It showed Earth peaceful and blue, surrounded by its silent fleet. Then Admiral Rains appeared. His voice was calm, but his eyes carried the weight of centuries. "The Galactic Council has fallen, not by our hands, but by their own arrogance. Humanity did not destroy them. They destroyed themselves when they forgot what respect meant." He paused, letting the silence fill the void. "We will not rule you. We will not conquer your worlds. But if you ever again raise your hand against Earth or its people, we will answer." Then he said the final line, a phrase that would echo in every language for generations. "Defy us again, and you will witness the end." The transmission ended. Across the stars, billions watched in awe. The Council's worlds surrendered one by one, not because of war, but because they finally understood. In the ruins of their arrogance, peace was reborn. A new order began. Not ruled by fear, but by respect. Far above Earth, the Ghost Fleet drifted silently, guarding its home. No victory celebration, no cheers, just quiet vigilance, because humanity knew something the others did not. Peace was fragile. Power meant nothing without control. And silence. Silence could be the greatest weapon of all. The galaxy had changed. The Council was gone. Its great fleets were silent ruins drifting through space, lifeless, forgotten. Worlds that once served the Council now stood alone, rebuilding in fear and uncertainty. But among the whispers of chaos, one name remained on every tongue: Earth. It was said that even the stars seemed quieter near the Sol system, as if the universe itself had learned to respect the silence of humanity. No one dared cross the borders of human space anymore. Trade ships that passed near it kept their engines low, their lights dim. No one wanted to attract attention from the Ghost Fleet, the invisible guardians of Earth. Yet, even in that peace, the galaxy could not forget the warning. One evening, deep in the outer colonies, a council survivor dared to speak against humanity. He stood before a crowd, shouting that humans were a curse, that they would soon fall as others had before them. But as his words echoed through the hall, every screen flickered, every light dimmed, and a single phrase appeared in the air: "Be silent." The man stopped speaking. Everyone did, because that voice, that calm, cold voice, could belong to only one world, far away on Earth. Admiral Rains stood inside the command hall. Outside the window, thousands of ships floated in perfect formation, their metallic bodies reflecting the blue glow of the planet below. The Ghost Fleet, humanity's shield, humanity's shadow. Beside him stood Commander Aaliyah Trent, silent, watching the stars. "It's quiet now," she said softly. "Too quiet," Rains nodded. "Quiet is good." "Quiet means they remember." She looked at him, uncertain. "And if they forget?" He turned his gaze to the stars. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Then we remind them." He walked forward and placed his hand on the control panel. The massive screen before them came alive, showing countless transmissions. Signals from hundreds of worlds across the galaxy. "They're rebuilding," Aaliyah whispered. "Some even ask for alliances. They want peace," Rains smiled faintly. "Peace is earned, not begged for." He tapped the console and a new signal formed, a message prepared long ago, waiting for the right moment. It was not a threat. It was a promise. The message spread across the galaxy, every channel, every device, every ship. No one could block it. No one could stop it. The screen lit up with the image of Earth, beautiful, calm, and bright. Then came the voice. "This is Earth Command. The age of obedience has ended. The age of silence has begun." Behind the voice, soft thunder rolled, the hum of the Ghost Fleet engines. "We remember the chains you gave us. We remember the lies you fed us. We remember the moment you broke your word. And we remember how we rose." The message was not angry. It was measured, controlled, powerful. "We are not your slaves. We are not your soldiers. We are not your property. We are the reminder that no power lasts forever." As the transmission spread, millions across the galaxy fell silent. Children looked up at the stars, asking their parents if the humans would come. And the parents whispered, "Only if we forget," the voice continued. "To those who seek peace, you will find us as friends. To those who seek war, you will find us first." A symbol appeared on the screen, the insignia of Earth Command. It pulsed once, glowing blue, then faded into black. "This is our final warning," the voice said. "Defy us again, and you will witness the end." Then the stars went dark. For hours, no one in the galaxy spoke. Even the air seemed still, and far above Earth, in the silence of space, the Ghost Fleet waited. Engines cold, weapons asleep, eyes open. Admiral Rains watched as the stars returned to view. He whispered quietly to himself, "Let them rebuild. Let them learn. But let them never forget." Commander Aaliyah stood beside him. "Do you think they'll ever come again?" Rains smiled. "Maybe, but if they do..." He looked toward the distant stars, only calm, unshaken, unafraid. "They'll find out why Earth never speaks twice." The fleet drifted silently through the dark, guarding a blue world that no longer bowed to anyone. And somewhere, in that silence, the galaxy learned the final lesson. You can silence a world, but never a will. You can break a body, but never a spirit. And when humanity stands, the stars themselves listen.